This is 7 News.
Tonight, Fiji's coup leaders threaten their hostages with execution. A young life lost in a train accident at Ascot Park. And a school community in mourning after a fate ends in tragedy.
With John Riddell.
Good evening. The leader of the coup in Fiji has threatened to shoot hostages one by one if the president refuses to resign. Some captives have now been released, but tension remains high around Parliament House, where our own Channel 7 news crew was fired on by heavily armed rebels.
Hello, sir.
Hello. It's an indication of just how much pressure coup leader George Speight and his gunmen are under.
You're not allowed to take photo, I'm telling you.
It's me. But other Fiji TV have taken photographs.
Be honest, you're not allowed to take photo, you go.
Sir, can I give you my card? If I give you my card and show you?
I don't know.
We're from Australian television.
We've made a simple request to video Parliament House where the Prime Minister and his cabinet are being held hostage. The gunman returns to his post, disguises his face with camouflage netting, then returns.
Just be 1 more minute, sir.
You go. I'm telling you, you go.
Okay. All right. We're gone. We're gone.
His patience was gone. The bargaining period over.
Okay, we're going.
It's that sort of tension that has so many here worried. These men still have up to 35 lives in their hands. At least we could get away.
Don't roll. Put it down. Keep your hands in the air.
It was a more peaceful departure for this group of hostages. Mr. Speight had agreed to release 10 overnight, among them this government minister.
I was given a choice to resign from the present government with effect immediately, or I'd be shot.
For the remainder, though, no reprieve. And the gravest fears are for Prime Minister Mahendra Chowdhury. His family asked for permission to visit today. That was denied.
You know, we're trying to stay strong, but it's not the best position one could be in.
There were reports he'd been bashed, had later collapsed. A Red Cross medic was allowed access. His diagnosis, Mr. Chowdhury was suffering understandable stress.
Had he been beaten?
Didn't show any signs of that.
No signs of injury?
No.
Police reinforcements have been delivered to Parliament, as have food supplies. But the priest offering to deliver Sunday service turned away.
No, I am not allowed to go in because they're having a meeting.
And they were prayers those hostages may be in need of. Fiji's president has just revealed on national television that coup leader George Speight is now threatening to shoot each of his captives.
You would kill those hostages if you had to?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you don't enter into situations of this kind except you're prepared to go to those measures.
The TV cameras have been pushed back from Parliament now. There's a 1 kilometre exclusion zone. The lives of those inside on knife's edge. In Suva, Fiji, Chris Reason, 7 News.
Back home, in tragedy in suburban Ascot Park today, a 6-year-old boy returning from an errand for his mum died instantly after being hit by a train. According to witnesses, the youngster made a dash across the tracks at a pedestrian crossing but misjudged the speed of the oncoming train.
The 6-year-old, described by locals as a good kid, was a regular customer at this deli. He was there again this morning just after 10 o'clock.
The young lad had been over to the shops just buying paper and a pie and some iced coffee and was returning home.
He set off over the railway line at the pedestrian crossing but never made it to the other side, struck a glancing blow by a fast-moving train. Police say the boom gates and signals were operating at the time, and it's unclear why the boy didn't stop. Some witnesses claim he attempted to make a run for it, but misjudged the distance.
Tried to cross the road, the train crossing, tried to beat the train, thought he can get it, but he never got it and he got killed.
The child, who lived just streets away in Edwardstown, suffered massive head injuries and died instantly. Police were unable to interview the train driver after the accident, as he was taken away for medical treatment, suffering severe shock. Locals say this has always been a bad intersection for both pedestrians and cars, with many minor accidents over the years, and there have been calls for better signals and safer boom gates. Transit Police will now prepare a report for the State Coroner. Susan Harrington, 7 News.
A tight-knit school community is in mourning after an 11-year-old girl died in a freak fireworks accident at a school fete in Brisbane. 6 others were injured, one critically, when a wayward firework exploded into the crowd.
Paramedics treated the injured right where they'd been cut down by shrapnel.
We've got one 31-year-old female unconscious but possibly breathing. They're also a 13-year-old with the CPR in progress and another male with his leg blown off.
The Oval at Bray Park Holy Spirit was a disaster scene. Dozens of people with cuts and burns were treated at the school. Police even searched bushland in case some of them, disorientated by the blast, had wandered off.
Really big bomb, about 2 metres high by about 10 metres in diameter. Sideways explosion.
11-year-old Dominic Baxendale suffered massive injuries. They could not revive her. 4 other children were injured. One lost part of his foot. A 38-year-old man who was helping light the fireworks lost his leg. Another woman, massive head injuries. Just metres from the explosion, in the chapel, stunned members of the school gathered. They returned this morning in their hundreds for an emotional service.
Everyone in the community here is in shock.
Police began their investigation, trying to locate as much of the shrapnel as possible.
We know that the explosive detonated, and it would appear that it may have detonated the casing, but we can't confirm that at this stage.
Peter Doherty, 7 News.
A man and 3 young children on a bushwalking expedition have spent a harrowing morning stuck on a rugged cliff face in the foothills. A full-scale rescue operation was launched by Star Group Police as concerned relatives looked on.
A bushwalking adventure turned into a rock-climbing nightmare for Jim Savage, his sons Zach and Ryan and nephew Jesse. Star Group Police were called in. They climbed around the back of the quarry, abseiled down and harnessed up each of the 4, the youngest just 7 years old. Paramedics were on hand just in case, and with rocks falling around the climbers, it was a nail-biting operation.
Your final child has been lowered, safe and well.
Incredibly, none of the 4 was hurt, just a bit tired and thirsty and glad it was all over.
We went to climb up there because it looked easy, and when we tried to climb down, it was hard as it, and we called for help.
What were we doing up there? That was my main thought. I just want to get the kids home. Okay?
Was it a scary experience though?
Yeah, it was very scary.
The group was lucky to be found. An Athelston resident about a kilometre away called police after hearing their screams for help. It's not the first time police have rescued climbers from the area.
The main difficulty was securing them up there and protecting them from falling rocks above.
Their advice is to stick to the trails, and that's exactly what Jim and the boys will be doing from now on. Jessica Sullivan, 7 News.
The locust plague in the state's mid-north is set to spread to the city and suburbs. Experts say come spring we'll be inundated by the pests, forcing the government to allocate an extra $2 million in this week's budget to fight them. But the opposition says any extra money should be spent on our hospitals.
It's shaping up to be our worst locust plague since the 1930s. They've invaded our agricultural areas and now millions of eggs have been laid in the dirt. On top of that, the experts are predicting a massive fly-in, swarms 100 kilometres wide from the Channel Country in Queensland.
I think coming through the city you will see swarms if in fact it's as bad as we think it'll be. But that also means that our horticultural areas, our wine areas, a whole range of areas within the state need to be well and truly alert.
The government set aside an extra $2 million in the budget. Fruit fly and grasshoppers will also be targeted. Meanwhile, the opposition wants priority given to our public health system. Mike Rand says hospitals need a massive injection of funds in Thursday's budget.
I mean, our hospitals have been cut and cut and cut again over the last 6 years and have now essentially reached crisis point.
We're treating now about 60,000 more people through our hospital system as admissions a year compared to 6 years ago.
Phil Luke, 7 News.
And coming up on 7 News, more sensational allegations on cricket match fixing. And the Olympic torch officially in Australian hands as it heads for the Pacific.
Travolta goes ballistic. Ain't it cool? He holds the world to ransom, and only one man can stop him. I'll be right back. The action movie blockbuster, Broken Arrow, tonight 8:30 on 7.
Okay, some dreams can't come true, but yours can with Visa, the only card accepted at the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games.
No matter where you want to live in this great southern land, the Great Southern Loan fits you down to the ground with no ongoing fees. Fully automated telephone transaction services, professional assistance and advice, and a linked account to your salary that you can access for bills and expenses. The Great Southern Loan is the safest and most secure fully optioned non-bank loan at a lower than bank rate. Check out or switch to the Great Southern Loan today. Call 8211 8611 now.
And he's away and he's approaching the camera. It's the stainless steel pedal bin. The products appear to be selling themselves at $19.99 there for the Cerebral. Oh, and he's gone the Linda cordless kettle. That's only at $24.99. Fabulous. Oh, and he's gone the Citizen battery operated toothbrush at $9.99. Don't forget the replacement brushes at $2.99. Oh, he's got the stylish bread box there in assorted colours. Look at the other colour there. Beautiful. Where did that come from? TV video stand $19.99. Oh, and the chairs $19.99. He's finished with the water lamp $69.99.
Heather Turland, marathon runner, Commonwealth gold medalist and mother of 4.
My biggest achievement is definitely raising a family. Winning a gold medal was amazing, but this lot certainly kept life in perspective. Being a marathon runner, I'm conscious about nutrition and my family benefit from that. Nutella spread on toast is one of our regular family favourites. It's full of hazelnuts, skim milk and cocoa, which makes Nutella taste so great.
Nutella, more than just a delicious taste.
A spider that's big enough to eat frogs. A bird with tennis ball-sized eyes. Fact or fiction? Tarantulas can live for 20 years. Mess with them, they'll mess with you. On Giants, Monday.
Police have found the body of gunman Nigel Parodi in bushland near his home in Brisbane. The 32-year-old was the country's most wanted man after shooting 3 police officers earlier this month. His decomposed body was found by sniffer dogs this afternoon. It was partly covered over by leaves, a rifle nearby. Cricket's battered reputation has suffered another blow with fresh allegations of match fixing. Caught out in an undercover investigation, former Pakistan captain Salam Malik has allegedly admitted to fixing matches in the past, including one game involving Australia.
Salam Malik has already been cleared twice of match fixing, but the latest allegations could see the former Pakistan skipper caught in another investigation, along with members of the 1994 Australian team. A London newspaper claims Malik told reporters who were posing as a major gambling syndicate that he could fix any cricket match for around $1.3 million, and had done so in the past. The players will agree, he said, we've all done it before, it's better than dealing drugs. Pakistan's controversial 1999 World Cup loss to Bangladesh was held up as a fixed match, along with the 1994 game between Australia and Pakistan. According to London's News of the World, Malik claimed that match had been doubly fixed, with both sides trying to lose. We were trying to get them to score runs against us, and they wouldn't. We were trying to get ourselves out, and they wouldn't get us out. The London paper claims to have videotaped the meetings with Malik and says the tapes will be handed over to the police and the International Cricket Council. Kevin Berishon, 7 News.
The Olympic flame is on the next leg of its journey to Australia after the handover ceremony in Greece. It will spend the next 17 days crisscrossing the Pacific, starting in Guam early tomorrow.
After the long haul from Australia, it looked good as it came in over Athens, the Ansett jet here to carry the flame. It landed as the torch relay came back from the Greek islands for the final run into Athens and the handover to Sydney. It was a beautiful Athens night, clear and warm. The ceremony was held in the stadium where the modern Olympics began in 1896. Greece's triple jump champion, the last runner, ending the 10-day relay. After Olympia, where the flame wouldn't light, the speeches were long and the band was awful, the Greeks made sure this one was right.
Proudly bear it to Sydney as the symbol of the Olympic ideal.
Burning in a safety lamp, it's Australia's flame now. It can't go out until the games are over. On the plane, the flame will ride up front, the lanterns mounted in special cradles in business class. There are 4 lanterns, 2 are always burning. The flame's headed for Guam, 20 hours away. In Athens, Paul Marshall, 7 News.
Well, it's on its way. It's going to happen.
It'll be
the flame's coming. Now, more dramas today at Caladium.
Well, drama for Collingwood. They dropped their 6th game in a row. But Ben Cousins, West Coast star, he slipped on the surface and injured himself. So
had to
not
happen.
good. We'll have that and the rest of the day's football after the break, as well as our Olympic swimmers relaxing after the trials, and Chelsea grabs the FA Cup with a single goal.
Can you hear us?
Stop! You two might want to be a little less conspicuous. To catch a killer, Ali's going undercover. Think anyone will notice? FBI! And the most shocking piece of news since Ali began. Monday on 7.
Someday love shines around me like a million suns that calls me on and on across the universe. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna...
Oh, heavens, I've been on my wings all day.
Time for today's afternoon treat. Philly. 60% less fat than butter or margarine. And it tastes like paradise.
Crumbs. Crumbs.
Ow. Nobody looks there anyway.
Philadelphia, a little taste of heaven.
This place is a mess.
If you have a passion for anything technical, the Navy can offer you the job you've always wanted, only on a much larger scale.
So get qualified and call 13 1901 today.
Want to win 2 seats at the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games? Not just any seats, the best seats. At Stadium Australia, you and the one you love will see the opening ceremony and both 100-metre finals. Simply buy 2 or more Dunlop tyres before July the 1st. You'll also get the best seats for 16 swimming finals. Even your airfares and accommodation are on us. The Dunlop Tyres Best Seats in the House competition. From your Olympic supporter, Dunlop Tyres.
David Jones is pleased to announce 30% of women's quality sleepwear and dressing gowns, including Gavoni, Anywhere, Anytime and Kay Jones. But hurry, this offer is for a limited time only.
David Jones.
Welcome back. The Adelaide Crows faced Melbourne at Football Park this afternoon, desperate to keep their season alive. We're halfway through Adelaide telecast of the match. The second half follows the news, so if you don't want to know the final score, please look away now. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights.
Into their forward half. Big punch by Simmons gives White the chance. He feeds it off to Leon Challey. Gee, they should score a goal here. Robinson goes long and accurately forces with the left foot out wide. Oh, great leap and mark by Adamuze.
Oh, that was fantastic.
There's kicks with the left. Jarman leaves it behind. Now Melbourne through Whelan tries to get the ball clear. Edwards straighten up, kick with the left and kick a goal for the Crows.
He's in front, he went to ground. McLeod should stroll in and kick a goal, and the Crows are in front.
Just going straight down the ground. Gee, they'll get clear here, won't they? Rashudo reading the ball off the pack to McLeod. McLeod to Jones.
It's on fire.
And the Collingwood army is hurting after the Hot Pies have suddenly gone cold, crashing to their 6th loss on the trot. West Coast home by 36 points, but we could be hearing more about Ben Cousins, who was injured after slipping on the Colonial Stadium turf.
For Mick Malthouse, this was a chance to beat the side that he guided to 2 flags, but the first quarter is one Mick would rather forget, as Cousins provided Cummings with his first, while Braun added to the Pies' woes with a clever snap.
Bends it back around the body and picks another one.
Freeborn finally booted Collingwood's first, while Philip Matera ran down Lockyer, and he made no mistake with the Eagles' 5th goal.
He's got it.
Everything was going the Eagles' way, Matera always the opportunist. And Cummings' freakish snap gave the West Coast a 37-point lead at quarter time. Malthouse wasn't impressed, but the Pies showed far more commitment in the second term to bridge the Eagles' lead to 23 points at half-time. The Eagles made a promising start to the third quarter, only to lose Cousins soon after. When Patterson goaled right on three-quarter time, the Eagles' lead was back to 26 points. But Garrick asserted his dominance in the final quarter, helping his side to a 6-goal victory.
Oh, I don't think we threw it in at any stage, but I'm certainly not happy at all. I thought our skill level was poor.
And Brisbane has just broken Sydney hearts. The Swans led at every change, but the Lions ran them down, winning by 3 points. The Swans have now won just one of their last 8 games.
11th against 12th, both clubs desperate for a win. The Swans needing their fans to keep the faith. Adam Goods led by example.
It's a goal. Adam Goods, you are a beauty.
The signs weren't good for the Lions. Alistair Lynch flooring teammate Sean Hart. The Swans produced one of their best quarters this season, 4 goals clear at the break. Even when Brisbane threatened, Sydney responded, able to maintain that 24-point buffer. The switch to white shorts, more of a fashion statement than anything, but with Leap and Leo in full flight and a welcome dose of renewed confidence, the Swans were dazzling. But then a complete turnaround. The Lions bagged 5 unanswered goals. Andrew Dunkley was on ice, Swan supporters even getting a spray from the SCG sprinklers. Coach Eade couldn't believe what he was seeing, and there was no respite. Brisbane full of running, drawing level, then drawing away. O'Loughlin gave the Swans hope, but it was the Lions by 3 points. The Swans' 5th loss by less than 9 points this season. Lisa Dalton, 7 News.
To soccer, and Chelsea has won the English FA Cup for the 3rd time. A single goal to Roberto Di Matteo settled the issue in front of almost 80,000 fans.
With Wembley about to be demolished and rebuilt, it was the last FA Cup to be played under the famous Twin Towers. Despite the millions of dollars worth of talent on display, it was far from a classic. Precious little to excite the vast crowd in the first half, with Chelsea captain Dennis Wise producing the only shot on target. Wise was Chelsea's heartbeat in the midfield, and he thought he'd put his team ahead early in the second half. But the linesman's flag was raised. Liberian striker George Weah straight offside. But Chelsea's multinational team was in command and creating the better openings. The winner wasn't long in coming.
James slots it and it's in!
Roberto Di Matteo was Chelsea's FA Cup hero 3 years ago, and he bobbed up again on 73 minutes. Aston Villa keeper David James couldn't handle Zola's free kick, and the Italian slammed the ball into the top of the net. 1 or 2 nervous moments in the closing stages, but Chelsea held on.
Congratulations to Aston Villa, of course, but I think we did a little bit more to deserve to win the match.
Paul Dowling, 7 News.
Australia's head swimming coach Don Talbot says this team is potentially our greatest. Based on rankings, the team is expected to win 9 gold medals at the Sydney Olympics.
For our swimmers, the chance to relax after a pressure week in the pool. Don Talbot breaking with tradition and sending an ominous warning to the rest of the world, including the Americans, that we're ready for any challenge come Sydney.
This team has set a benchmark now for the world to go out, and in the next few months we're going to see all the major swimming nations of the world trying to match our times and better them if they can.
Victoria has clean sweep the Olympic badminton team after all 6 members, including a full-time policewoman, were announced today.
Leave to police officers is quite precious, to spend time with their families, and for them to give that up for me to train. Without them, I wouldn't have made the team.
An action-packed day in the touring cars in Darwin. Mark Scaife managing to avoid the pile-up to win the opening 2 races. Not such good news for teammate Craig Lowndes, with the Commodore shredding a tyre. Garth Tander won race 3, but the day belonged to Scaife.
And for tonight, that is our sport. Stay with us after the news for the second half from Football Park. But Mick Molehouse, if you're back at Victoria Park, absolutely bleeding.
What happened to Geelong last year? 1-5, then just lost a big host
9.
Right in the middle of it.
I think Mick will be hoping that they can win one very shortly.
Mick's not good when he's not happy.
It's not good when he's happy.
Cherylee has weather details next, and another fine day ahead.
Standard rim blocks quickly lose fragrance and become sticky. But AmbiPur Flush, the world's first liquid rim block, gives constant fragrance flush after flush. With every flush, AmbiPur circulates a concentrated fragrance liquid and cleans the bowl hygienically. And it's available in 4 fragrances: ocean, forest, citrus and fruits. AmbiPur Flush cleans and constantly freshens because it's AmbiPur.
Need help finding the best value insurance? Well, if you insure your car for private use, and either your home or home contents with SGIC, we'll give you a 10% discount on each policy, and you can pay your premiums monthly. Just call SGIC on 133 233.
Everything has a story to tell, of times it has seen, of the places it's been, of the emotions it has experienced, of the lives it has shared. Every item has a story to tell, a story which you can be part of with a piece from Adelaide Exchange Jewellers Antique and Estate Jewellery. But if you want to start a new page, a fresh story, let Adelaide Exchange Jewellers help with a superb selection of excitingly designed and newly crafted pieces that give you the perfect opening paragraph. Make it a part of your life, a part of the story you write, whether you're continuing a moment in history or beginning a brand new chapter. Adelaide Exchange Jewellers, more than just a jewellery store, at Tea Tree Plus and 7 days at City and Glenelg.
You must see South Australia's largest lounge specialist, Discount Lounge Centre, the lounge specialist at the lowest price, or it's free. Any size, colour, combination, you name it, we'll do it. The lounge experts, we have to be, it's all we do. Discount Lounge Centre, Brunella, Parafield and Keswick.
Coming up, all the action from the second half of the Crows-Demons clash from Football Park. Next on 7 Sport. Then Dharma and Greg.
Hello again. We had a cold and cloudy start to the day. In fact, our overnight low dropped down to 5.7, which was the coldest night we've had this year. And our top temperature only reached 15.7 at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Currently, it's 12 degrees in the city. On our satellite picture tonight, there's not very much cloud to talk about, apart from this jet stream here across the centre of the continent and this low-level cloud in the south. Well, taking to the skies, that cloud over the northwest doesn't contain any moisture, but the cloud in the south did produce a few showers overnight in the western agricultural areas last night. We're taking a look at tonight's charts. This high will dominate over the next few days, so we'll get fine and partly cloudy days until Wednesday with light to moderate variable winds. We are expecting a few cold fronts to pass well south of our state, with only one on Wednesday moving up high enough to give us a few showers. Around the country tomorrow, fine in Perth, Darwin and Alice Springs. Some patchy rain forecast for Broome. Showers in Brisbane and Hobart, but fine elsewhere. Well, back in our state, we had a few drops in Elliston overnight, but there was no rainfall recorded in the 6 hours to 3 p.m. Temperatures were about average, ranging from 21 degrees at several northern stations down to 12 degrees at Mount Crawford. Our forecast is for another cold night with early morning fog and inland frosts, and then we're for another cool to mild day tomorrow, but it will stay dry right across the state with light southwest to southeast winds. On our local waters, the next few days are going to be excellent for boating and fishing. We'll get calm seas tomorrow with northwest to west winds of only 5 to 10 knots and then seas down to ½ a metre. In the city, dropping down to 8 tonight and then warming up to a fine day with a top of 17 degrees. And looking ahead, Tuesday fine with a top of 18. Wednesday a few early showers and 17, but mainly fine again on Thursday. And taking a look at our 7-day outlook, we are expecting a cold change and a few showers later on the week around Friday, with temperatures dropping down to the mid-teens. So it doesn't look very good for the weekend. That's it from me. Nora will tell you more about that tomorrow night. So it's back to you, John. Good night.
Thanks, Cherylee. Stay with us now as we take you back to Footy Park for the second half of the Crows versus Melbourne. See you next weekend. Good night.